Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. Today, I thought it was important that we talk about karmic contracts. Karmic contracts are something that we create for our own individual growth. And we create them with a group of individuals or light essences, if you will, in the ethers that we have some type of a connection or a link to, right? Sometimes the most valuable lessons come to us from karmic partners or karmic family members. Now, I'm sure on one level, there's a lot of love that is shared between both the individuals or the group, if you will, because it could be many, a multitude, right? Depending upon what the lesson was that we wanted to learn to truly embrace and grow from. And I know that sometimes it's confusing because when you hold someone in the 3D world that's close in your environment, whether it be a friend, a family member, a partner, if you will, or even a colleague, because we have all different types of relationships that we formed so that we can get the most amount of growth, from the interaction of. And some of them could very well be karmic and placed in your field willingly by you to gain the value. And you could very well be a karmic individual in another person's story in order to help them evolve as well. And sometimes we take on a role considered karmic when we're standing in our own personal power and we're shining our light bright. But what we're doing is illuminating the spots or the places, even the spaces in other energy forms, regardless of what form they may take, right? To illuminate within their own structure, their own form, their own mind, right? Their own perception of who they are or what they think they're going to achieve, right? But sometimes the other party has a disillusion that they're unwilling to see. And that's where we might come into play, where we could be considered karmic, right? Only because we shine the light on what it is that they refuse to see. And some of us do this unknowingly, just by the aura in which we carry, by the position in which we stand. And that's not for you to second guess where you are on your journey, in your path. If it feels right, if it resonates truth and positive energy within you, that's where you belong. Because if there's no doubt, if there's no hesitancy, if there's nothing to push your high feeling down, right? Because you're evolved and you're on another level where it gives you the ability to see how others may perceive whatever situation it could be, whether it's of their own doing or of someone else's doing, or if it's a conglomeration or a compound of multitude of things that are coming one after the other. That's the universe's way of showing you where you stand and what game you're playing. And then you have to realize that not always does the other party realize, recognize, or see what it is that you're showing them through your movements and your choices, right? And they could get stuck in a situation where they're in a continuous cycle of trying to break you down, trying to achieve the contract that they created with you, which would more than likely be to add diversity or adversity, if you will, into the existence of a higher evolution or person going up the ladder of ascension, right? To try to dissuade you. That could have been their contract with you, to try to put obstacles in your way, to not so much break you down, but not to get you to follow your path, right? To second guess it or doubt it. And in their mission to complete what they think is their only story, right? Because even karmic situations have the ability to evolve into a positive mannerism and mindset by, at one point on the journey, choosing to reflect, to see, to actually embrace that what it was that was done in the past was learning lessons that either worked or didn't work. They either had structure and form, or they were flimsy and they flopped. And usually when you're on the path of right, when you're going in the direction of higher vibration, you're creating a very strong structure. And when you're fighting or getting someone to, forget about their journey or lose track of their path or divert into, a different perception that was never meant for them, that was given as a misillusion, right? Sometimes those people, those energies, they don't realize that they have the ability to get past even the cycle that they're in. That if they were to dig down into the deepest core of them, that they would find that there's hope at the bottom of that basket, meaning that they were always meant to evolve into the best version of them, and understand that you can't bend someone else's will in order to keep someone down. When life on earth was really meant to elevate, to show possibility, to give experiences and offer insight. And that's to each individual. And sometimes we need help migrating out of a cycle that is old and worn and really doesn't have much bearing on where we really want to be, not what we think that we're forced to remain, right? So being that free will is something that we're all given, use it to your advantage to step out of a cycle where you thought that you were to play one role, and realize that that was just a learning lesson in order to migrate further on your destined path, right? And then embrace all the positives through all of the negatives that you may have endured, and find all the value, and then let go of those burdens. Just let them go. Tell the ultimate one that you now realize that what you thought was going to propel you really was just a stepping stone in order for you to recognize who you really are on the inside. That your story is far grander than trying to bend the will of another. So when you perceive, when you look toward whatever it is in the energy that could be knocking on your door, you're in perfect position to stand tall, to stand courageous, and to realize that evolution is an upward journey, and it's not a downward or a back slope slide. And there's always a way that you could be released from whatever karmic contract. You could talk it into creation by having pure, clear intentions. You could certainly say, I learned from my older ways, and I am now in a position to switch my understanding, to grasp the value, to understand the lessons, to become a better version of me, knowing that I am a willing participant in the game of evolution, development, and future forward movement. And that all starts today. That starts with the mindset that you choose to hold, the direction you choose to follow. And why not put all of the past in a learned lesson and shed yourself from anything dark and dense and walk willingly into understanding, forgiveness, light, love, positivity, and forward movement. I'm here to help you, to encourage you, and to be able to shine light on whatever corner you think might be shadow held. Because you don't want to actually get rid of your shadows, you want to become one with them. You want to accept them. You want to pick up the value, because the higher consciousness of you knew that you would be able to handle and surpass, overcome, and thrive in the glory, the light, and the love that we all are. I implore you to dig down deep, to unlock, unbury, or uncover all the hidden parts of you that are screaming to be seen, to be appreciated, to be understood, valued, forgiven, and let go of. Because there's so many opportunities that are waiting for you, for each and every one of you, because every step you've taken, they've not been in jest. They've been perfecting who you needed to be. But now you can feel free to, embrace who you really are. You don't need to hide behind what you once thought were your limitations, because we don't have any. You cannot limit how energy flows or where it goes. So be on the positive, flowing, receiving, giving, understanding position in your life. You have the power. It's your choice. I'm here to help you. Reach out, leave me an email, let me know, and I will certainly send concentrated waves of whatever it is that you need in order to provide to you the strength, the clarity, the wisdom, the guidance, and the structure to rely on who you really are. I can't wait to find out, to see the glory and the enlightenment that comes across you as you begin to find out. My lovely collective, wherever you are, wherever you go, I offer you love, light, and a world of possibility. Love and light.